Welcome back, Rivals. This is Xonia, and you are in the zone. And today we're going to be looking at a little bit of news because I'm running low on time, but I still want to get a video out to you guys. In fact, I'm actually making this on Monday when I normally put this video out. I wanted to take a look at two of the main things that have gone on, the new CRs and the Rebirth reform. These are really big topics that we definitely need to talk about. If you haven't been back to UR in a while, these are big things that you need to know about. So up first is the Rebirth reform. Finally, again, after a very long time, talking about this, there was a poll that was put out, and we were allowed to decide what would happen ultimately to the Rebirths. Now, we weren't given every single option over it. We were just given 3 general choices, and that's basically what's happened. So as you can see, for a few months now, we've been questioning the logic behind Rebirth cards, and as a result, have decided to put things in order. The survey you recently completed clearly showed the best way to end the RB era would be as follows. Reform the RBs and revert the cards' real names, replacing the images with new ones, put back the old cards in circulation into the packs, and get rid of the Rainbow Pack. Now, the reason they're getting rid of the Rainbow Pack is because it used to give out an RB, and obviously with no RBs, that's going to be over. We can also put the old cards back into circulation now, because if there are no RBs, then they should be completely fine to get a hold of them. You still were able to get the RBs in packs, so if you got rid of the RBs, you wouldn't be able to get the originals either. And then finally, reforming the RBs by reverting their names and replacing the images. They're basically just going to replace the images. Now, the sole aim of creating the RBs was to update the graphics with high quality images more in line with other creations. Moreover, these are emblematic cards that were being prevented from being released as collectors at some stage, so for the more senior players who are attracted to the original visuals, please don't forget that we have a Pinterest page that will serve as an archive, and we're also going to add a museum tab in which you'll be able to find these images. So if you don't like that the images aren't there anymore, you will still be able to see them in the museum. So if you're an art collector for the cards, kind of like me, that's the reason why I like to get one at each level, we'll still be able to look at things in the museum, and I think that's a fair kind of trade. You know, it's not exactly what I would have wanted, but you know, it's okay. They're still making concessions for those of us who did like the art, and I really like that from UR. They not only got our input, they've also tried to take into consideration those who are not going to be getting what they wanted as well. This decision now makes more sense with all of the other categories: rare, common, yeah, it was unusual but uncommon, legendary, collector, in which the Rebirth cards had not quite found their place. I guess the biggest downside is we're going to lose that cool blue border, so be it, but UR did once say a long time ago maybe they would be able to put that blue border on something else, so I would be excited to see what they might put with that blue border. Maybe they could put Miss cards with a blue border, Miss and like Noel cards, that might be kind of cool, but you know, who knows. Anyway, we appreciate your understanding, happy gaming to you all. Now, they did say that they would give compensation as well, and there's been a lot of talking about that. You can read this thread in the staff announcements. It's called Rebirth Reform. That's the latest thread. There are quite a few posts right now, 103 or 104 now, so you can take a look at those. But basically what happened was, if you had an RB, you now have the original card. You did not lose your card entirely, it became the original card. And then now you have as many of those original cards as you had. If you had an original card before, you still have an original card. So what this has done is kind of the original cards were worth more, but now everyone has original cards, so their prices are starting to kind of be devalued a little bit. But then what also happened, which was very interesting, is because of the release of some of these cards, we then saw the staff announcement Xmas or Christmas Surprise by HD Boss Killer. In the latest travel report, Jason pointed out to Rex Swig that a few abnormalities he noted: disappearing tools, incisions, and signs of an attack on the tank, strange tremors during his stay, but neither he nor his Triceratops saw a thing. With Clint City swarming with spies, the report soon came public. A couple of clans even sent out their best assets to investigate these rumors, and they never came back. If warriors like Grax, Striker, Toro, and Rattana disappear all of a sudden, this begs the question, what is hiding out in the desert? This is an amazing backstory and setup for whatever these new monsters are coming out. If these are supposed to be really huge things, this is the kind of thing I would have loved to see with Ymera. A B5 level card crushing these iconic cards like Grax, Striker, Toro, and Rattana, who are just amazing cards and are every bit worthy of going CR that a lot of us just did not see coming. Obviously, if you had the RB for these, you then got the original, and now they will become CR. From Monday, December 19th, they'll no longer be available in the packs, so when you see this video, when I put it up, they'll already be out of packs, I'm pretty sure. Maybe there'll be another hour or two, but basically, unless you watch this right after the video comes out, they're going to be gone. However, players who already own them can continue to use them as normal, and the sales were canceled until December 16th. So if you want those packs and you see this right away, you might want to run over there and try and get them ASAP before they are completely taken out. Anyway, this was really cool. So we've got 4 new cards that are going to become CR. So let's take a look at them, and I'd like to talk a little bit about them. Up first, I'm going to look at Striker. Striker, really great 4-star, 6/6 with SOA. He's been around forever in All-Stars. An amazing card that will be sorely, sorely missed by many players, especially in ELO. Now, one reason is obviously you've got Alexi still here with the stop-op ability, but he's only 6'5". Striker was the upgrade, you know, 1 extra damage, the exact same card with just 1 extra damage, and it made all that difference. Asperov is another great 4-star card, but he's got support, so he's not quite as stable. Haro LD, I'm not sure what his most recent one is. Kurlad doesn't usually have this completely up-to-date all the time when they've changed them around. I think it's cancel power now. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've used Haro LD, so I'm not up to date with all the new LD powers. But basically, Haro is really great. But one of the issues you might run into with Haro is if you're running other 3-star cards like Rob CR, or if you're running Amir in your deck, you might already have a lot of power manipulation, and so having Haro in there as well, that's not bad. Obviously, there's a lot of power manipulation in All-Stars. If you only rely on power manipulation, you can really get hit hard, and so that's one reason why you might not want to run Haro LD over Striker CR. Hartnett, amazing with Reprisal SOB, but it's only on Reprisal. Not that that's bad, but just that Striker is just as good, if not better, because Reprisal SOB is going to help him win, but Striker can be used offensively and defensively. Yu, I think we all know, Yu is not the best card. With only 5 power, wish he had a little bit more, so be it. Lomanoju, again, not as much power as we would have liked, but that +1 life per damage is really good, but again, not as stable. Marina, maybe Marina is better. I mean, Marina's pretty good. Let's just be honest here. 9/5, -3 -1, one of my top 4-star cards, but Striker CR was also on there. I do think Marina personally is a little bit better, but Striker is probably a little bit better offensively. Even though both of them can be used offensively and defensively, Marina's a little bit better defensively, Striker's a little more better offensively, so it just depends which one you really want in your deck. Quinn, again, fantastic card, but again, Courage, so you're going to see him coming if you want the +2 power, but if he goes unchecked, I would say Quinn is probably better than Striker if he goes unchecked, but again, it's not about that, it's usually about the stability. Raul, amazing new card, but you do need that kill shot, and that can be hard to get off at times, so not quite as reliable. And then Spud, amazing card, but not enough damage. I would really like to see more than 4. So Striker, losing Striker is going to be a big hit for the All-Stars, so you definitely want to go ahead and pick up one of him before his price goes much higher. Okay, up next we had Toro. Toro was the next one. I'm going by alphabetical order by clan, if you're just curious if that matters at all. Again, 6'5", -3 power, -4. Having 2 under is fantastic for going against clans like All-Stars. He has a huge 3, -3 power, which means he's essentially a virtual 9, which is also amazing. But the thing is at 6, even if you go against an 8 power, he's going to pull the 8 power below him, and that's what you really want here. If Toro can actually pull you down to 4, and you have equal or more stars than him, he's going to win for every 3 pills you play if he only plays 2, which means he's going to gain a pill on you for every 2 that he plays. That adds up really fast when you're saving him for the end game, and when you pair him with another card in the clan like Rolf, again, it's really difficult to get around these guys because they can get really dangerous really fast. And yes, you know, there's still attack manipulation that can slow him down, but because he's got that base of 6, it doesn't absolutely destroy him, and if he's able to lower you to 4, he's going to get even further down, and plus with his SOA, it just makes him so deadly. So we look at other cards in the clan. Annibal, again, fantastic card, but Revenge, so again, not as good as the solid, you know, unconditional power. B16 Sestra, again, really good card, but not as solid. You're going to lose a lot more if you go into a mirror battle. Django, 6'5" with the growth, -1, -4. Really good. Obviously, just as good or better in rounds 3 and 4, but you can't use him early, and that's the real reason I would say I would prefer Toro over Django, because Django does need time, and if you're already dead by round 2 or 3, it doesn't matter if you have him in your hand, because he's not going to measure up to Toro in the first 2 rounds when you may need him. especially if you go in pretty far and lose in one of those first two. Dr. Ergo, again, reprisal SOB, really great, 7-5, but not as good of an offensive attacker as Toro. Dr. Saw, again, +1 life per damage, but only 6 power, with nothing else to really back it up, and that can be really hard. Geist really struggles from not having enough power, and so a card like Toro, which is a virtual 9, is an absolute godsend in this clan. Drahira, again, virtual support, power +1, again, another virtual 9, and one of the reasons why Drahira was banned even faster than Toro, maybe even better, but of course support, so not as good in solo deck, or in half decks, which means that Toro is much more viable in a half deck, making him even more valuable. But Drahira is still in a mono deck, probably even better, I would say. Erica, again, no ability, she's absolutely useless. Why would you ever use her? Hreiger gives you kind of that faux attack manipulation with the -1 pill if you can pull it off, but still, I don't like him as much because he's only 7 power. You really need more power in Geist. It is all about the power and making sure you don't use those pills unwisely. Jax LD, I'm not sure what his most recent minus attack or whatever it is they're running with him, so I can't compare because I know it's not completely up to date. Julia, again, 7-5 with +2 pills, really good recent addition with kind of that +14, but still, with Toro having 2 more power, essentially, with the reduction and being able to get that even faster, you're going to find Julia is probably a little better versus attack manipulation in the lower pill battles, but Toro in larger pill battles is going to beat her after 6 pills. So if you're saving him for later rounds, he is going to be better than Julia in higher pill battles. Kirsten, Poison 1, Min 1, 6-6, not bad, but definitely not as good with Toro. I don't think we have to worry about that. Methane, 7-7, he's got more damage, which is really what you want. He's got the solid 7, but not as much power. Methane is the one that was always paired with Toro whenever they could. Then Nina, Poison 2, Min 1, 6-2, not even close. Sigmund CR, not even close. Toro, clearly one of the most dominant 4-star cards all around in this clan. So a huge, huge loss for Geist in the CR. Up next, then, we have Rattana. Again, fantastic. 8-5, -4 attack, min 4. All 4 of these cards were in my top 30 4-star cards. These are all amazing. 8-5 with SOA and -4, min 4. That is crazy, which means she's going to win most 0 pill battles. She's going to have a high enough power to get over anything attack manipulation related. Again, giving that extra power to a SOA clan, which is so needed. And then having 5 damage is just fantastic for that SOA clan. It's really what you're looking for in your 4-star as that base. Amani, again, lots of life, but not as much power, not as much attack manipulation, not as much to help her actually win. Billy Bob, no point even talking about that. Bishop, again, virtual 8, but if he goes into a mirror battle, he's going to get absolutely crushed. And so that's why I wouldn't prefer Bishop, because sometimes you are going to run into those mirror battles, and it's a very real worry. Brody, again, against those mirror battles, he's worth 1 damage. That's it. And you have to Fury in order to get a lot. Of course, he's better if you can get that Fury off, but if you can't, if someone saves their pills, and because you're, Roots, you are olding a lot of your rounds, and then trying to win that one big round with Brody, not going to be as good for helping you actually win that round. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to throw Rattana in there with him, and force them to pill over her, which is just going to give them a huge headache. And you can even pill one, and then they're going to be down a bunch of life, because you're going to get that 5 off really easily. But anyway, Brody, not as good because he's not as stable. Burdock, again, not as much damage. All Stop, really good, but not as stable. Diane, again, -3 damage. I don't think you need to really talk about why they're better. Gretchen, ability to do way more damage. Obviously, she is, the gold standard when it comes to damage from 4 stars in Roots, but not as solid. Again, if you get hit with SOA, she's going to be hurt a lot more, and with only 7, she's not going to get that damage off and her ability off quite as easily. And so again, that's why I would rather have Rattana for that guaranteed. I don't really want the nuke here. You've got a lot of really low star nukes that you can use if you'd rather have a nuke in Roots, but why even do that? I mean, just put Gretchen and Rattana in there. I mean, that's really what you're probably going to do anyway. Lily, no real contest. Matthew, no real contest. Indolo CR, no real contest. Torg, again, really great with that 9 power, but only doing that 5 damage on a confidence, so because of that, more conditional so not quite as good, I would say, because it has to be confidence, and sometimes in Roots you do really just want to win that one round, and so that can be really difficult if you got cards like Arno or Flora in your hand. Then Tashern, no real contest there. Tuck, again, very, very solid. Another card very close in the line of Rattana CR, but because Rattana has more power in the higher pill battles, Rattana is going to win. Most of these cards, again, high pill battles, definitely going to win, very much missed in their clans. And Grax, the number one, you know, how do you fight this card? You lose if you win, you lose if you lose. It's a nightmare, and we thought he was going to be around forever. And now he's not. He's gone before we even knew it. That's crazy. To think that any card could beat this card is absolutely crazy. Anyway, we've got the 8/5, -5 damage, min 1, and attack manipulation of -8, min 3. Do I really even compare this to anyone in this list? There's no one better than that. It's already over. Gastro Boy is trash. Joucha's not as solid. Lacket's not as solid and only has a max of 7. Learbarda, very good, but again, not as much power, and when he loses, you get absolutely nothing. Mantis, not enough damage. Makra, a real beast, but not as much DR, so when he loses, it's not quite as good, and even though he can get a little bit more power, he's... You know, it's really about that trade-off. Makra is so good as well, but I still have to give it, because even with that min 3, you can throw low against him and not actually get any DR against it, whereas you're still going to get the min 1 with Grax, so a 3 damage plus 1 life per damage card is still going to be able to do 6 against Makra, but only 2 against Grax, and so Grax, again, just a superior defensive card. Makra, slightly better offensive card. It's really what you want, but you're never going to say no to Grax if you've got him, man. Petra, stop-out bonus, very solid, but again, nothing on really losing. Peter, again, revenge damage plus 3, a huge nuke, but not as good, not as solid. Ramsey, not as solid. Slopsh, not as solid. Taurus, completely destroyed by anything that removes all attack. So cancel attack from Raptors is just going to rip through Taurus. Trin, again, very good damage, but not as low of a min, not as high of a power. Venus, absolute trash, not going to be there. I mean, Grax is the gold standard for 4-star cards. And all of these cards have been beaten by whatever it is that's coming out of the city, or whatever was in the desert. And so I'm very excited to see what this monster is going to be. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you had some of these as a CR. Leave a comment down below. Tell me how many of each of these that you got for your CRs, if you got any at all, which ones you're still looking for, which ones you're hoping to buy soon. Tell me what you also think about the whole RB thing. Did you get what you wanted? Did you not get what you wanted? Are you okay? Are you happy with how you are handled this? I'd really like to see how you're doing, so that if you guys are all extremely against it, I can report that to the admins, and if you all like it, I can report that to them as well. So thanks for watching this, guys. I hope you liked this video. If you like it, hit that like button. If you really like it, make sure to share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget to subscribe for more of my Urban Rivals videos. This is Xonia, and you've been in the zone.